My name is Jordan Farmer. This is the Uncommon Conversations podcast. Today's guest is none other than Jessie G, a very, very talented rapper. One of my favorite artists at the current moment. His newest song, Underdog, is, or one of his newer songs, Underdog, is just phenomenal. What's up, brother?
What's good, bro? How you doing,
How you
man?
doing?
I'm good this
I'm,
morning,
I'm
right?
doing good, man. I'm doing good. I'm in the car today.
Hey, it's all good, man. To say it's been it was raining here this yesterday, so it's been pretty shitty out.
Yeah. Right on, right on. So how you been doing, man? What you been up to? Just grinding?
Yeah, man. It's just pretty much. It's like it's that time of year. We had meetings last night. We've got an event coming up, so we're just trying to get everything in order, all the moving parts where they need to be, artists in place, setting up rehearsals and stuff like that. So we're just getting ready, man. And then I've got some work coming up with Atticus. We're actually linking up this week to make another song, and
Nice.
then we just got a bunch of stuff, man. And I got some other stuff with a guy in New York that I'm working with, or Maine, I guess you say. So just trying to keep it moving, man.
Right on, right on, man. Dude, that song with Atticus you guys did, that was phenomenal. It was, I mean, from A to Z, I was just like, it was different. And then like the lyrically, I totally vibed with it, and like it was just phenomenal from A to Z. So I'm really, really excited to see what you guys do next.
Yeah,
Um,
he's dope, man. He's dope. He kills it. He killed it.
right on, man. Right on. So if you could, what's the process like going through these and creating these albums and stuff? Because feel like from the outside, we just see the end product and we never get to see the steps, and I bet they're interesting. So,
Yeah, yeah. To say honestly, for me, man, I've always I don't like the forced music. Like I really like. I feel like you can always just throw something together. You know what I mean? And it's like if I don't feel it, it's hard for me to like really connect with it. I mean, and most people are like that. You know what I mean? But some people, just want to make stuff to put it out. I have to have like some type of connection with the instrumental or the song or whatever it is, because then it kind of like writes itself. Like you don't have to force it. It just like words, just it's easy to put it together. And that's usually why I sit on a lot of songs. I'm like, oh man, I feel like I forced this. It doesn't feel comfortable and stuff like that. But I mean, sometimes they happen fast, man. And like, it's usually the ones that you don't even think about. I feel like when you make something, it's like last minute or you're not even trying, just having a good time. It usually comes out the best and people end up enjoying that the most. It's like if you kind of get over analytical with it and think on it for so long, I feel like it stress you out, and then you might not get the results that you put all that work into. You know what I mean? You're like, man, I did all this and I'm not getting the response I want, and I like put my life into this song. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I just
yeah.
try to have fun.
There's that pressure to make. Yeah, the thing with music is like you don't get a second shot. That
Yeah.
like with my podcast, I could always try to rephrase whatever I want to say again, revamp the same idea, and just do it a little bit better. But with music, like you can do that. You can have little tweaks, try an acoustic version, but that's like it. That's like the latitude you get, or remixes like that. That's pretty much it. So it makes sense that you want to put that extra little like connection to it. Now, when you say connection, do you mean like, is it usually like the idea of the song almost as a whole kind of pops in, and then you're sort of filling it out, fleshing it out, working on lyrics and beats, or is it a beat and then you see what the beat kind of vibes with, or is it just a mix?
It's like I have a tendency to really attach to like usually darker sounding sounds. I don't know why, like, but I don't know. I mean, you just like an example is I've had like people in the past and stuff, or like people I work with in general. It's like sometimes they might send you something that is so dope. It's like this is dope. It's like, but I myself, I can't put myself on it. I don't hear myself on it or stuff like that. But sometimes it's just like you just feel it, man. It's like you just know it feels good. It's like you ever like, I know this is a weird analogy. Do you ever play baseball growing up?
Yeah, here and there. Yeah,
Like when you just hit that perfect hit and it just feels so good, like it just comes off the
yeah.
bat perfect. It's
Like
almost like feeling. It's like you ain't even. It just feels so good. It's like, oh, this beat feels great. Like I can hear
this is
myself on it and stuff. So like I don't know, I might get too picky with instrumentals sometimes, and I'm sure a lot of people are like, oh man, you know, it sounds good, put it out. But sometimes I'll like so overthink it, like, oh man, I don't know if I sound right on this type of instrumental. So it's just, if it feels good, then I'll usually just put it out. And over the years, I've gotten better with doing that, so I don't like really overthink it. You know what I mean? And then be all
Mhm.
like, let's just make it. If it sounds good, it sounds good. Let's put it out. You know what I mean? If it sounds good, just put
That,
it out.
that's dope. That's dope. Yeah, with the I know
Somebody,
exactly what you're talking about with baseball, where like you don't even know necessarily it's gonna be that ball that you hit perfect, and just when it
yeah,
comes in, just the technique is smooth. It feels effortless. You feel that
yep,
nice,
exactly.
satisfying little clink, and then boom, it's gone.
It's yeah,
It's funny when you said that. It made
like
me think
it's
of
effortless.
what's kind of funny is because like I'm an MMA fan more than anything else, and I've done some boxing training and stuff like that.
Oh
So
yeah,
the feeling of like throwing an effortless throwaway jab and it just is stiff and it just hits their skull a little different, and and you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hit it like that.
it
Like
felt
that.
good
That's
though.
kind of what I'm imagining. Like it's just like you're just, and what's important about that, I think, for me, and what I try to do is like you gotta sort of there's this interesting girl on YouTube named Limitless Level Up, and she's really good for like mental game stuff and a lot of like sort of talking about dealing with the masculine and feminine spirits in you and a bunch of other stuff. It's really cool. She goes real deep on stuff, but she talked about making room for the things you want in your life to come in. And I feel like that works with inspiration and creativity, where it's like you don't know when it's gonna hit, you don't know when the spark or whatever, when the things are gonna go together. But you putting in the work, you're messing with beats, you're messing with lyrics, you're messing with this, you're just in the sort of right space and making room for the thing to come in, and then it just comes in the right way. More so than
Yeah,
like building a brick wall where you just know it's just slab, slab, slab. You're at 1%, 2%, 3%, and eventually it's done. It's different. You're sort of setting the stage for it to show up instead of the other way around.
because like if you force it, man, like I discourage myself. Like I mean, like, we all have those days as an artist. Like it might not come out how you envisioned it in your head. It's like you might have heard it a little bit different, and then you get there, and then you lay it down, and you're like, shit, like this isn't what I was hearing, and then it just frustrates you, and then you start forcing it and trying to make it work just because it's an idea. It's like every idea doesn't have to work. Sometimes it's hit or miss. You know what I mean? Like that's how I am with it. It's like, it might sound dope, but it just don't feel right to me. I think he would sound better on it or something like that. I mean, so every idea is not going to be, like you get in there and it's just magic every time. Like it doesn't happen like that. I don't care what. Yeah, everybody be like, oh, I make a hit every time I go in the studio. I mean, that's cool if that's how you are as an artist. But for somebody like me that, dude, I used to be like an actual, like, I used to draw and stuff, man. Like, so I've always like just been around art in general. And it's like, you don't like to make something that you're not fully comfortable with. You know what I mean? It's like if you don't
Yeah.
like it, you don't have a behind it, and then I feel like I get lazy, and it's just like anybody can go in the studio and rhyme, but can you really write something that you mean and you have passion behind? Like that's how I am as an artist, and I use it as my outlet. If I'm having frustration, I'm probably in the studio treating the mic like a punching bag. Like that's what I do.
Mhm.
That's how vent. So I mean, it's just I guess it depends on how what your creation process is. But to me, I have a lot of passion behind my stuff. Like when I get in there, it's like, you know, I'm not just in here saying stuff to say it. I mean what I say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's so important. It's interesting. I was watching a Tom McDonald live where he was just talking and stuff, and he was talking about he's literally got he just released two albums at once with 36 songs on them. A lot of the songs have already been music videos and people know about, but he said he's got 100 songs in the queue that are just partials or working on or whatever. And when I heard that meant so much to me because I realized what that means. Like he just focused on producing a lot and out of the bunch pulling the best stuff out. And like that's one of the best uh workaholic strategies, I guess.
It's
Like not
it's
not in a bad way, but it's one of the best ways to just say I want to produce the best, so I'm just going to produce a lot and then extract out from that, the cream of the crop. And I thought that
it's
was real cool.
catalog, man. Like so, no matter what it is, like having a body of work. I mean, not only is it good to have, but the more of a catalog you have, the more you're working, you're just making stuff all the time. You never know what you're gonna make if you're always just working on stuff, experiment with new sounds. Like I never in a million years ever, like when we were in the studio, we made that song Bizarre, like 2 summers ago, last summer, whenever it was. That was pure like don't
Pure
even
flow.
yeah, like we were just like experimenting around. We were like, yo, like this is dope. Like if we layered this and then like kind of did a pat, like it just kind of built itself. You know what I mean? So it's
Dude,
everybody's
that opening, is that opening a guitar? Or is that opening like a ukulele or something?
yeah, yeah. So it's like having like I never thought that that would be a song that we would really push, and then like everybody loved it. You know what I mean? So we were like, all right, let's put it on this, and then like that was during COVID. We made that whole project. We recorded that whole project from scratch, threw it all together within like 4 days in during COVID, like right at the lockdown. Like all the businesses had shut down, and me and Shirts got together, and like just that came about. And so I mean, having a good catalog, I feel like it's very beneficial because not only are you creating, but if something happens and you start doing a lot of shows or you start, whatever the case may be, it's good to have something to pull back from. Like, say you blow up tomorrow and you got one song, you better get your shit moving because what you gonna do? You gonna ride off that song for the next 6 months, make remixes on top of remixes. Hopefully, you can get somebody to feature on it, and it's just like then you gotta like play catch up with yourself. So I feel like if you've been building yourself for a long time, no matter what you do, I mean, if you build yourself for a long time, it's like you've been building a foundation. So when it does happen, it's like it's already there. You've been working on an experience and you got what you need because you've been building it your whole life. You know what I mean? So that's how I am when it comes to like creation and making sure you have a catalog and stuff, man. Like I just been doing it for a long time, man.
There's this business guy who has a phrase because he hit it really big one year. His online sort of teaching stuff, he went from like 40,000 subscribers on YouTube to 250,000 like in one. And so his joke was, "I'm an overnight success after 26 years."
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
it's like that's the reality of it. There is no such like if you're an overnight success, you just got lucky, and you're probably not gonna last.
Like this is like an analogy that I tell if anybody's listening to this live right now, take this and implement this in your life in the way you think about things, and it's like a game changer. If you take two seeds and you plant them both in the ground right beside each other the same day, everything's the same except one's 6 feet down and then you plant the other one like 6 inches down. Guaranteed that's the one that's only 6 inches down is going to sprout faster because it's closer to the surface. It's going to bloom up quick, but it's probably not going to last long because the rooting system of that plant is very shallow. But the one that took years and years and years and years and years to build through the ground and build a strong rooting system, and it took years. By the time it gets through the surface and it breaks through, that plant's going to be so powerful that it's going to last as 10 times longer than that one that popped up real quick and doesn't have a foundation to fall back on. So that's the
Dude,
way
I love that.
that's the way you have to look at it as being an artist. Like people complain, oh, I've been doing this for a long time. It's like 9 times out of 10, an artist or a creative or an entrepreneur doesn't make it where they want to go because they stop. That's the only reason. If you stop it doing and you stop that snowball effect, because just over time, that's what it is, creating anything, a business, a brand, whatever it is. I mean, it just takes time and people aren't willing to invest that time because it's like, like I literally have people walk up to me in public that ain't seen me in like 10 years. Are you still doing the music thing? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'm doing great. Love life, man. I'm out here. Your friends book at our studio. Like, like it's like the music thing. It's like, are you still doing that job thing that you hate doing every day that you're dedicating your whole life to, that you're not going to get anything but a pension plan when you retire? You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
passionate about what you do, man. No matter what it is, you're gonna have to put time into it. So you gotta be able to like just put your time in it and give all so you can have experience in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I'm going to kiss your ass real quick 1 second. When you have really, really good artists that hit that level of word of mouth, like where they're growing through word of mouth, where people are actually sharing the music instead of just like, because you can buy ads and I played around with TikTok ads a little bit and I got like a bunch of followers and stuff from this
Yeah.
one thing, and it was a good video. It was a video that was pretty successful on its own, and so I just tried to blow it up a little more.
Yeah.
But the organic growth and the people sharing the stuff to their friends and all that kind of stuff, that's the organic stuff. What I was going to get around to it is when you have an artist like you who's so good that's going to be a big chunk of your growth pattern, that is like a exponential thing. Where
Yeah.
like at one point it's one friend sharing it to one friend, then it's 10 to 10, and eventually it's 1,000 to 1,000. And so it'll kind of all come at the same business dude said, success is like sex. It all comes at the end.
He's right, man. He's right. He's right. He's right. But I mean, I agree. Like, I know what you mean. Like, this past few months and stuff, like, we've been really heavy on like strapping down on marketing and learning like the proper way to like scale as a brand or whatever you are, business, you know. And a lot of things that people point to is organic. Like, if you're doing stuff, you really want to make sure that you're doing it organically because, I mean, not only are they getting strict about it, like Spotify sent out an artist email a few months back saying like they were really cracking down on fake plays and stuff like that. They will remove your music. If it happens too many times, they'll take your like artist page down completely because they have to pay you for that. So it's like, if you do get into paying for advertisements and stuff, you definitely want to do organically. And then when it comes into like doing TikTok ads and stuff like that, that's more so of just learning how to properly target your fan, but like target your consumer. You know what I mean? Like if you know who's
Mhm.
following your page and like the typical people that follow your page, that age group, then you learn how to target and stuff like that. But I'm huge, man. I'm huge on telling people like, get off of your phone and physically go network. You know what I'm saying? Like physically meet people, go and meet with businesses. Like even if it's in your city, like even if you don't have the money to go travel around and stuff, like your phone will do a lot for you. You might catch a viral trend. You might like take off and skyrocket. You might figure out a dope pattern. You might blow up on social media. You might be running the game on the internet. It's like, but you want to have these physical connections too. You know what I mean? Like having physical connections, one handshake. We say it all the time at the studio, all the time. One handshake can change your entire life. You might go into a room and sit with somebody that you've never met, but you've been looking for this person forever. And he might have something that you need, and you might have something that he needs. And then you guys end up building a relationship, and you connect, and then you talk, and next thing you know, power moves. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never know. So that's why I always tell people it's great. It's great to figure out the digital side of marketing, but it's a really good thing to make sure you're doing physical networking as well. Like, we've done that for years, trying to like merge with businesses. Like even if it's like, hey, can we shoot a video in your spot? They might end up needing somebody for an event that runs sound. Hey, I got that guy. He's right here. Let's work something out. Next thing you know, we have that relationship. If we ever need somewhere to do an event, oh, we got these guys in the bag. We work together. You know, stuff like that.
Mhm.
So
Mhm. Mhm.
networking and marketing is so important, and I feel like people underplay it. They're like, yeah, I'm out here networking. I tell people it's more than just, hey, check me out on SoundCloud, you know, check me out on YouTube, check me out on, it's like trying to actually connect with people and work with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like that's, I feel like
Mhm.
on a physical standpoint, you'll get further along. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, I 100% agree. And to some degree, well, to a major degree, that applies to me. I'd say like I've been onto some things in terms of like so when you talked about like growing organically, you talk about like networking in person. Um, you kind of, so for me, for years, I was like, I worked at a gas station for a bit. So like I would just hit up random customers and try to throw one of my random little political ideas at them
Yeah.
just to see how an everyday person reacts. And like I just did that, with a bunch of different people. And I've only got like 70 subscribers or whatever on my YouTube channel now, but at least 20 of them are from those kinds of instances where I just was talking to someone randomly and started sharing one of the ideas. And me, I'm one of the weirdos. Like I'm an introvert, but when I have to go talk to people, I'm fearless with it. Like I will go talk to a CEO just as effortlessly as an ex-con. I literally just had a fresh out of the pin ex-con on my podcast just like last week.
Yeah.
Was
If you're
doing some amazing work. He hit the ground running, bro. It was dope. But go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you're passionate about something, that's how you are. You're just ready to talk to them. You know what I mean? So, I
Yeah.
mean, totally feel you.
Yeah, and but what I need to do definitely is networking and figuring out how to, because I've been an introvert and I've worked in businesses where for the most part I'm by myself. I've had a couple sales type of jobs or whatever. It's really an area where I know I got to grow, where I know I gotta level up my game quite a
Yeah.
bit. But I mean, it's just a matter of doing it. So
But even
putting in the work and
and like, I mean, even having low, if you do have low numbers and stuff like that, like that doesn't always necessarily matter to like people think, oh, I don't have a bunch of views and a bunch of, I can't do this. That's so not the way to think. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I would rather have 5,000 true people that engage with my product and really genuinely connect with what I do, and you know what I'm saying, than have 10 million fake that don't do anything and I still have to work a job that I hate and I just have a presence and I'm not
Yeah.
really getting, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather have a
Yeah.
cult engagement, you know? And so it's
Mhm.
like you got 500 followers and they're buying your products left and right and they're supporting your business. That's great. You know what I'm saying? That's genuine and that's organic, you know? And a lot of people can't get that to happen. So it's like, just because you don't have big subscribers and stuff like that, dude, it doesn't. I literally started doing posting my vlogs on for Ride My Dirt Bike just out of
Mhm.
fun. Man, like I came up with a name for it, named it, and literally had no intention on like making it some big page. I just wanted to like post my clips. I thought it's cool. I've seen people riding their stuff, and like I posted a clip on there, and I think that page has like maybe 20 subscribers on my dirt bike channel, and this kid commented on there, and he said, "I really enjoy riding this with somebody, or since I just bought the same dirt bike," he said, "Could you post more videos like this?" And it was just like that little, you know, it's like, man, like,
Mhm.
dude, hell yeah, I'm just having fun posting videos. So it's like,
Yeah.
you never know how much you can connect with somebody. It kind of falls back to what I was saying. Like, if the music feels good, just put it out, because everybody around you might not like it or some shit. You might not, but you might change some kid's life on the other side of the world. It might be his favorite song. It might be his favorite song, your song, and you might not, and you won't even know him. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Mhm.
never know. So it's like I used to get real down on myself about numbers in the beginning when like social media started like really like being the thing. And it was like I just had to get to a point. It's like, man, like you can't let that get to you, man. You can't let it discourage you. You just got to keep continuing to just do your thing, man. Like that's what I mean. I've been working in the music industry for a long time now. Like I mean, full time, at least over a handful of years. Yeah, I've been in the industry for almost 12 years, but I've been full time in it probably about half of that because I still work jobs in and out and stuff in the beginning. And I do what I love now, and we do it all the time. We make music. I'm an engineer. I'm always around music, and I have what 3,000 followers. I'm not out here popping and having millions of followers. You don't have to have millions of followers to be successful in something, man. So it's like just do what you love and make it your own, and like what everybody thinks. Everybody around you that don't really know you, you're in your local spot, that's going to be the ones that like frown on you the most because they know you. And I've always, bro, I've always, I could go right now and show you a screenshot or a screen recording of me going through my stats on Spotify. I get genuinely more plays everywhere else outside of the city or outside of the state that I live in. Twice as much. Like so many more plays outside of the where I live. It's crazy. So it's like, don't even worry about the people around you. Just do what you do, man. Just do what you do.
Yeah.
Got passion about
What's
it. Do it.
cool is I pay more attention to the reaction I get per individual I come across more so than like how much exposure, because I had a guy who has a bigger following, and my record right now for my most watched podcast is with this guy. His name's Your Pal Austin. He makes funny little TikTok videos. It's like 2,000 views on that one, and every other podcast is like 80 or 100 on
Yeah.
here on Instagram. So I was like, oh god, like that was awesome. But
Yeah.
we were talking about it, and I was talking about also with the guy who on Sunday I was talking to. We were talking about. Oh dang, it's gone. I lost it.
He said, I lost it.
um, I'm
Me,
trying to think about what you were just sort of talking about. It made me.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
the whole YouTube thing, just the vlogs and putting it out there and yeah,
Oh, it's I've been paying attention to the response I've been getting from people, and because like I was a car detailer, I was doing my own thing. I never wanted the spotlight. I never wanted to be sort of brought into this world. I was drawn to this world because I like ideas. I like talking about stuff, and like when I'm chilling on my own, I want to like legit. I don't go to, and this has been me from the jump. When I was 15, I was getting shit from my mom and stuff, and not in a serious way. I don't want to talk. Yeah, I love you, mom. I love you out there, but um, shit for like being on YouTube a lot and stuff. But back in the day, it was like it was kittens playing pianos, right? That was YouTube.
Yeah,
I was listening to a strength and conditioning coach talk to me about the parasympathetic nervous system and philosophy. You know, like that's what I was doing with YouTube. So like, yeah, it was YouTube, but that doesn't mean all YouTube things are equal.
yeah.
And
It's a
and
wormhole.
so, but legit, that's where I go to. So now I go on my phone, my YouTube feed. It's nothing but news stuff and like it's all topical, like informational stuff. Like I don't even get once in a while it'll switch and it'll show me some music, and that's
Yeah.
about it.
I
Um,
turned my
and so
notifications
this is
off.
really my thing. And so as I've sort of come into it, I've been able to pay attention and realize like my ideas like this. I don't know. I'm always combating arrogance because like if you're trying to be great, like if you're full of yourself, you're gonna fail. Like if you're full of yourself, you're gonna fail. I know 100%. Even if you're confident, it hits a level like with McGregor, where right after he kind of got around the Floyd Mayweather era, where his mouth was bigger than his britches, and
Yeah.
he just wasn't really in it. It wasn't authentic like it used to be.
I feel
Um,
bad for him, man. I feel like he's been going through a rough patch, and I've always loved him because I think he's just like a human. Like he's so like stuff like that is just so funny to me. Like I just used to like watch videos to see him talk. Like who the fuck are you? Like yelling and stuff, and it's just so
who
funny to
the
me.
fuck is that guy?
God, dude, like it's just so funny to me. So I feel like he definitely he'll hopefully he'll bounce back and get his ducks in a row, man. Because it's like how can you not love him? A lot of people hate him, but
Yeah.
it's that's what
What?
they do. That's what they do. They're paying, what I mean, they're making money out here, man. They're out here
Yeah.
riling people up, getting these fight. Like that's what they're doing. They're fighters, man. They're going at each other and stuff. So that's what it is. So it's like,
Absolutely, absolutely. I always say like, what about the man on his way up, especially? What about the man doesn't impress you? Like what? Like yeah, you can hate on him or whatever, but he took so like the guy who he beat for his first real world title had been like unbeaten for 10 years and was
yeah,
like the king of that division, and he snuffed him in 13 seconds. Like just a left hook that just caught him perfectly, put him on his freaking face, a couple of hammer shots once he's down there, and it was out in 13 seconds. And that fight was built up for like 8 or 9 months. So it was just like you were just watching history happen in like, double speed
yeah,
with some of those fights. But anyways, I'm getting so like when I started getting into this, I had a sense relative to the political experts that I would listen to, like where I'm at, where I think I'm at. But that's different than when you actually get out there and you prove it.
yeah,
I've had podcasts with New York University professors. Like I said, I've had, podcasts with an ex-con. I've had a podcast with you, a rapper's just, someone kind of in between the super academic and the
yeah.
hardcore real world, um, on that sense. And the response has been what I would expect if my ideas are as good as I think they are. And so that has been really validating for me. So even though I don't have the numbers, the good part is like I want to say I don't have the numbers because I'm just sort of acknowledging truth, but I'm
Yeah.
not worried about it. I'm not worried. Like I'm worried about if I put in this extra work today, this extra thing today, or if I fail to do that, does it have these broader consequences down the road? That kind of freaks me out. And so I'm trying to figure out how to have peace with like how much do I get done? How do I
Yeah.
have peace with just putting in 4 bricks a day instead of
Yeah.
like, well, it's got to be 5 and then 6, and then I'm freaking out because it's not 6 or 7, and then I get 2 done, and then it's just a giant mess.
I
So
feel I feel you.
so that's really like I'm very confident, and I know I'm good at learning and upping, like leveling up, and I'm committed to doing that. I'm committed to like whatever mistakes I make, whatever errors I have in my worldview or whatever, I'm willing to just change them because that's what I would want someone to do. So that's what I'm trying to do, and so yeah, so I'm not worried. It's kind of cool that I'm not too worried about that in the long run. I know I'll get where I want to be and I'll
Yeah.
have the impact I want to have, but yeah, what I struggle with more than anything is getting the actual actions, the concrete day-to-day actions, like implemented and practiced and like trying to get used to them. Because like I said, I've never had a business, never been anything but just a dude who just is told when to show up and told when to leave.
Yeah.
And so there's all sorts of skills and things that are associated with that, how to work with other people. I jumped out of football and loved powerlifting because I didn't have to deal with a whole lot of extra people, a whole lot of extra organization and stuff. So um, I've
It's
sort of escaped and held back on some things that I should have been leaning into more, maybe. But you learn everything you're supposed to learn in the right time if you're paying attention and willing to learn. So that's
yeah.
what I'm doing.
To say because it's just it's all about just finding that balance, man. I mean, if you know, you say you never worked in a field like that, more so like once you have like the faith in yourself, you know, depending on your home life and stuff, if you have a family at home, you definitely, you know, have to figure out that balance so you're not just always over going and going. And like I'm really bad about that too. I have been my partner's at the studio. He is great. He is great about, you know, having that balance between personal time and always. Like if I'm somewhere, I'd be standing in the middle of dinner. If I get a business call, like I'm like, I stand, I'm gone. You know what I mean? And I work on it myself, but it's like at times you do have to. There are days where you can just like, all right, I put a couple throws in, you know, a couple breaks in, and then there's other days where it's like, all right, I got to get a lot done today. But it's just I'm really big on, you know, at least trying to have some type of schedule for yourself. Like we had a thing the other day. We were talking about instead of to-do lists, make success lists. So like for the month, instead of writing just a bunch of things that you need to do, write down things that are actually going to be beneficial and things that are really going to make an impact and get you to that next phase or level that you're trying to get to. Like last month, like I've been working on like rebranding myself. So I did like a new Jessie LLC and stuff like that. And for like that month, instead of having a bunch of like 10 to-do list things, I had 3 main things that I know I had to have done that were going to impact me moving forward with myself and my business and stuff like that. So like just little stuff like that, man, just finding balance and giving yourself a small schedule to make sure that your goals are actually stuff that are going to move you forward. That's one thing that I've been trying to like put on myself and do myself. And it definitely helps you, you know, instead of being worried about a bunch of clutter, you got your main things, you know, you're like, all right, I need to do this month. This is the main goal. And then that way, even if it's a little a day, you're moving forward and you're making good progress instead of just being busy. Because there's a difference in getting shit done and just being busy, running around like a chicken with your head cut off and you're not even really getting anything done. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's the thing that I've been doing, man. Like I have a pad in my room and like I'll write down success list for the month. What's the 3 things I need to absolutely have done for my business or for even
Yeah.
if it's for your personal life. You know what I mean? Like, oh,
Yeah.
gotta take my girl out to dinner, that, you know, whatever it is. You gotta have a success. So that
It's really easy to have that big ass goal down in the distance and then to have these little tasks you got to get done every day. But I
yeah,
like that in between where it's
yeah.
like this big steps, 3 big steps a month, and then the rest of the details you can sort of figure out as you're executing. And I think
Most
that's awesome. I think it's
because most
perfect.
stuff that you're gonna have to do anyways. So it's like, so why overwhelm yourself, making yourself think, oh, I got to get this done? Like, it's like, is that really something that's truly important? Like, yes, you have to get it done, but is it gonna change anything for you? You know what I mean? It's like, duh, I know I got to get up and go to the bank in the morning, like stuff like that. That's just like to do this stuff. It's like I need to submit to get this done for my business. Like having an actual list of goals that is going to help you move forward, I think it helps more. And I used to be bad, but I used to write everything down. Got to get up, got to take the trash out, I used to overwhelm myself. Have too much on your plate. And then like once you like really take out what's unnecessary, the stuff that you know you have to do and the stuff that you know you need to do, it's a different thing. You know what I mean? So I feel like and then you're not overwhelmed thinking, oh, dude, I got to get 15 things done this month. You know what I'm saying? Make 2 very impactful. Do 1 if you have to. You know, at least you know you're
Mhm.
moving. You know what I mean? So that's how I am, man. I'm big on setting goals to like, all right, we got to have this done by this day. Like we need to
I
just.
think that I think that's so valuable for me because I think what I've realized with me is when people say, and when I've heard this back in the day, put 100% effort in. I was like, are you psychotic? Do you know what that means? Do you know what that actually means? If you take that literally, That means from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, you're fucking hustling and focused and kicking ass. That is
Yeah,
psychotic. Only a handful of people can actually pull that off. And so I had to like dial it back and be like, okay, fuck the cliches and the phrases. I
yeah,
need to get some work done,
yeah,
some amount of stuff done. And so with this stuff, with the organization stuff, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's conscious, but I very much like, if I want to clean, everything's getting pulled out and
yeah,
everything's getting reorganized and everything's going to be, revamped, and that'll take 2 or 3 hours instead of a quick 5 minute pickup. And I've had to learn the techniques of the quick 5 minute pickup and just making it look a little better instead of it making it look perfect.
yeah, yeah.
And so with this stuff, it's very similar. Where the organizational stuff, where I want to detail every little thing, and it gets so overwhelming that because I can't do it in that perfect giant way, I just give up on it. I'm like, there's no. It would be way too much work to try to organize all that shit. Or even when I do, then like you said, it gets overwhelming, and so it's like, how can I do all this? But if it's just 2 or 3 goals, and then you're just sort of thinking and working on those goals,
You won't burn.
separately, and then the details sort of come, you know, as they
Yeah,
come.
you won't burn yourself out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if because you will. I mean, you can burn yourself out no matter what it is. Like I always try to say, because I mean, when you're an artist, you do a little bit of everything. So it's like, even if you like do graphic, or if you opening a business, if you overwhelm yourself and you go night and day, every day, all day, yeah, it might work for the first few weeks. You might be pumped up, but when you start doing that, it's like you're gonna overwhelm yourself, man. Like I worked with an engineer. When I first graduated from Atlanta, he was an engineer after school that I graduated from for like a handful of years, and then after that, he continued once we all graduated, and within 5 years, he changed completely, left the industry, burned himself out. He was like tired of being in studios. He did not want to do it anymore. And he went and like moved back home and started going full fledged with his dad's business. And now he doesn't even work in the music industry anymore. So it's like, and he literally told us, he said, I am burnt out from doing this. Like we would have like in Atlanta and stuff, man, like we would have like 16-hour days. Like we go in that bitch and cook all day, go leave, get some food, come back, stay in there until like 2 in the morning. And it was all day, all the time. And it's like, but once you start getting older, I guess you say, like when you're 18, 19, you're just like, oh, let's go. And it's like, all right, dude, it's 20. I'm 28 now. I'm ready to go home. Like we can pick back up tomorrow. Like I can't be here all night because then I'm gonna not function properly tomorrow if I've been in here all day. So it's just like finding balance, bro. Balance goes a long way, bro. Like if you're getting something done each day, you can't get everything done in one day. You know what I'm saying? You really want to sometimes, but sometimes just getting a crucial aspect done that day and then picking back up can be really beneficial. So that way you might even see something the next day that you missed the day before because you flew through it all
Mm.
day. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to
Yeah.
read stuff and be like, damn, we could have did this too. So let's do that. So a lot of times being organized and having balance will help you, man.
I love that, man. I love that. So you had sort of mentioned wanting to talk about business and what people can do to. I think you said, like, pay less taxes or whatever. I don't remember exactly what you were saying, but
Invest in yourself.
go for it.
Invest in yourself, man. And what are taxes? Yeah, taxes. What's taxes? Yeah, if you are in any way, shape, or form making money off yourself and you are running your own business and you have your own brand going, and then you have to get to the point where you're claiming that money, you need to be like putting back into yourself. Like no matter how much money I make, if I make $30 from a day working, or if I'm 300 or 1,000, I always, every transaction, you ask my girlfriend, you ask everybody, I take a certain percentage out and I put it in another account for a tax account, but I use that account to help me like put back into what I'm doing. So at the end of the year, when the government's like, hey, you can either pay me or, you put it back into yourself and your business. What are you going to choose? You're going to put it back into your
Mhm.
business. So that's literally, I mean, that's what every rich person on. Why you think like all these rich political people, when something happens, they go and buy a big real estate investment. They just put money there just to write it off so they don't have to pay the government. They'd rather go put it into something else. So like
Mhm.
that's That's literally all you have to do, man. Learn to like invest in yourself, bro. Like I said, it's so key. Invest in yourself, man. Like there's so many ways. Like we have a tax people that we go to, and they help us like bookkeep and stuff. And for the years of like being in the office and stuff with them, they've taught us like cool stuff, like stuff I never knew. Like I'm like, oh damn, that's a write off. Like I didn't know that. But you have to. Don't get me wrong. Don't go out there and just like start. You know, you have to be very careful about your write offs and stuff. But do it.
Plan this out. Plan this out.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you have to like make sure it's stuff because you have to show a profit within a certain amount of years or stuff. So you can't just like do it every year all the time. So you have to make sure that you're showing a profit, but you're still putting back into yourself. So you can't just like wash it out. You know what I mean? So that's one thing I really learned over the last year is like just to make sure. Last year and a half, honestly, like our tax people have really been like putting me on my game and stuff, making sure like and Jordan, my boy Jordan, who we work at studio, like I track every transaction I make, every single one of them, every single one of them. I will never not do it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's changed my life. You start finding your gaps at where you're either spending too much or where you need to be putting more. So like I have every end of the month, I have a day where it's on my calendar, my Google Calendar, total up monthly income, so I can see exactly what all we spent with like groceries, stuff like that, seeing exactly how much is going where. So then all right, I got the money next month. I can put this into this for your business, whatever it is. So, I mean, I'm just really, really strict on doing that now. And Jordan changed my life with that. So like I always, especially if you're an entrepreneur, if you run your own business brand, you're an artist, not only is it going to help you financially, but it's going to extremely, extremely help you when you walk into that tax office and she says, all right, you got this form, you got this form. How much did you, and you're like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how much did I spend? Let me check when you walk in there and then you hand them everything, and you literally have everything circled that you know is going to be technically deductible towards your business and stuff. Literally just walk in there and hand them your stuff, all your tracking transactions, and then they can help you out because they know everything that you've put your stuff into, and they can tell you what is considered a write-off and what's considered, deductions and stuff like that to help you out. So that's why if you own your own business or you're your own artist and you're out here making money and you're doing this for a living, track yourself religiously. I literally do it. If I go spend $3 at the gas station to buy a Red Bull, I go out and I put it down in my stuff, put in my information. Just this at the end of the month.
Do you keep it on your phone or do you have a notebook?
I like to physically write, so it like helps stay in my brain a little more. So I have like a checkbook. I get checkbooks and just use them as just put the date and times or whatever. So if I put $300 in,
use it as a ledger.
Yeah. All right, I know that I put this much into ads this month, or I put this much into, I had to buy some computer software and stuff like that. And investing in yourself doesn't, like build yourself. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. Like if you know that going out and buying a new computer is going to increase your workflow and increase your product and give you a better quality and stuff, you're invested in yourself. You're going out and you're buying some gear that's going to make you get to that next level to where you're going to have to invest in more stuff to get to that next level. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, like, if you're creative, just like invest in yourself, and it will help you in the long run financially. And when you that you won't have to pay, or you won't have to pay a lot. So whatever the case be. So like last year, I would have had to pay a pretty good amount, but I put a lot back into myself. I went and I had to buy a new laptop. I had to buy, a bunch of stuff for my business. So I'd rather put it into me instead of paying them.
Yeah.
So that's how anybody I think would think. Like if they're like, yo, you can either send us the check or you can put it into yourself. What you going to pick? You're going to put it into your business, and sometimes it's scary, but have faith in yourself, man. Have faith in yourself.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think for me specifically, and I know for a ton of people out there, tracking every transaction is easy to overlook, especially what you're spending. It's easy to just be like, whatever, I'm going to go. But I think just for life, not even if you want to do business, like for life, that's so important. But yeah,
it is.
Honestly, I think everyone should open their own business like like including me, I'm gonna do this. I haven't opened my own business yet. I should. Um, but I think everyone should do that just for the sake of the exercise, because you
Yeah,
don't understand how life expenses can get turned into tax deductions once you own a business. Like you, because you're, and it's because you're creating, the reason why they want to do this is because you're actually creating value instead of just taking, because like when the government taxes you or whatever, or when you just work a job, you're not creating new value. You're just plugging into a machine that's already creating value. Um, and so
you're
like,
their value.
yeah, and so what the magic of GDP is, like the money, the dollars never like go away. The magic of GDP is finding an economic activity, is finding a reason for me to be able to get a dollar because I created value, and then to give you the dollar because you created value, and then you give it to someone else because they created value. And
Yep.
we can all use these things to pay for living and for life and everything. And it's really cool if you get real deep with this money stuff, because it's legit a little bit like magic, because it doesn't make sense how you wouldn't like run out of money, or how you wouldn't like because there's no inherent value, like all the dirt, all the raw materials, all of the stuff to make the computers and the sound and like music and everything, all the potential and all that stuff has always been there, but we show up and we make something out of it and create value out of it as humans, and then it actually has something, and then money is just sort of how we measure all that stuff. It's just like a
Yeah,
pricing measuring mechanism, but it's really like the value comes from you. It does not come from like any of this other stuff, and so that's why, that's one of the reasons. It's also because rich people rule the world, but it's also because uh, businesses create value, and that's how you actually help everybody else, by creating that value yourself. So as an exercise to say, I'll start a business and just see what I can do, even if you're just like I don't know, doing nails or cutting hair. Or for me,
yeah.
I've been in weight training. I've been weightlifting and stuff, and been like in powerlifting for like 12 years now. Like not consistently training, but studying and learning. And I've had my own unique program since I was like 16 years old. I've never sold it to anyone. I've never thought about selling it, but recently I've been thinking like, why not open that up as an avenue stream? And I put up a few videos of me bench pressing 350 pounds, and people are like, damn, this dude can bench some shit. I should learn a few things from
Yeah.
him about that. And like I could make a little bit of money bringing value to that person instead of it, because I have no desire to put time into that area, even though it might serve people, because I'm not making money. But if I can make money off of it and it serves people, and it could facilitate the political stuff and the other things I want to do, well then,
Yeah.
you know, it's all for the better. And there's a couple, that's really the only like solid one I can think of, but there are other ones too that I think I could probably jump in, and I want to get into a bunch of different businesses and industries, just because if I'm going to be on the political side trying to like regulate and tell y'all what to do, I better know what the hell you guys are doing in the first place, right? Um, so I think that's really important.
But
But
it's
anywho,
it,
yeah, I think everyone should start a business just to do it, just to see what it's like on the other side of that economic spectrum.
it's just even in life, how you said, even in life, like I always encourage. I've told homies like, yo, like try it out, man. Like I know it's difficult to like actually do that, but especially when you start to like work for yourself, or even if you don't work for yourself and you don't want to work for yourself, it's still going to benefit you to do that, because then you know what's going on in your life. You know where the gaps are, you know where the holes are. So it's just no matter what
And
you
you still have access to some tax deductions, like giving to charity and stuff like that. So wouldn't
yeah,
you rather pay your taxes to charity like, even if it's not investing in yourself, like you said, even if it's giving to others, if that's what calls you, if you can pay less in taxes to this corrupt ass government that's wasting all our money anyways, and on top of that, then you get to go give some charity or create some value or whatever it is, go do it, man. Go do
well,
it.
this
For sure.
next song that I'm working on right now, I'll definitely have some jabs at the old government.
well,
Yeah,
well, praise God.
yeah.
uh,
Everybody,
that's all
go.
I could say, man.
Yeah, turn
Oh,
on
hey,
everybody.
and on that note, I got some good news. I
Yeah,
got some good news. It feels like the news media is actually trying to be objective and sort of turning on Biden a little bit. Not that I hate Biden for his policies or whatever, but the Hunter Biden story is
yeah.
starting to break out now. In October of last year, before the election, I don't know if you heard about that story. October, 1 month before the election, there was a laptop story. It was Hunter Biden's laptop, Joe Biden's son.
I heard about
And
that.
on that laptop were emails talking about how he pays 10% of the money he gets from any of his business transactions to the big guy, being Joe Biden.
Yep.
And the same thing with Joe Biden's brother and a bunch of other stuff. There was some child porn things
Yep.
going on there on that laptop too. And so it was obvious, like, our president is compromised by the Chinese. Our president has probably done some really fucked up shit with children. We should probably look into this. And it was buried. All the social media platforms buried it. The New York Post wasn't allowed to tweet. Like a news outlet was not allowed to share a news article on their own page because they wanted to come bring the hammer down so hard. And millions of people said if they had heard that story, otherwise they would have changed their vote. So they swayed the election straight up.
Oh yeah.
Like that. You can't even argue that. Like, and I don't mean like, you can always say, oh, they're in the algorithms and in the background, they're being the evil, whatever. This is objective. This is literally people were kept from seeing a story and totally against any logical rule. And then we know enough people, if they had seen that story, would have changed their minds to sway the vote. The election actually, like they talk about widespread fraud, and this is a whole other debate. The election was swayed by like 30,000 votes across 3 states. So like it doesn't take a lot to have swayed this,
Yeah.
And they want to be like, oh, he won by 7 or 8 million votes in California. It's not. Anyways,
That's
it's a whole
great.
nother rant.
But
I
yeah, man.
think the fuck the system is starting to actually hit parts of the system, which is so healthy and so
Yeah.
important.
A lot. I feel like
Because they
a lot
can't
of
just be, the good boys club.
yeah. A lot of people are opening eyes in areas where they need to be, and it's good, man. I mean, I'm not saying go out here and start a riot and all that, but I mean, stand for your rights, man. Like, just you have rights as a human being, and remember that. That's all I have to say for people. Like, you have rights as a human, and remember that. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Straight up. Well, this has been awesome, man. I'm so thankful for you coming on, man.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me again. I'll definitely, once I get in the stew, man, I'll let you catch a sneak peek of the next one coming up, man. So we'll
Oh
talk.
shit, dude.
Yeah.
I don't want to fanboy out here, but that means everything to me, man. That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool. That's so
I'll,
cool.
I'll definitely send you a snippet, man. But I'm gonna hop up off here. I've actually got to get up to the studio here shortly and meet some guys and girls so they can make some heat themselves. So,
Right on.
all right, man.
You have a good one, brother. Peace.
Have a good day, brother.
God bless you. All right, folks. I'll be turning the comments on for a whopping, I don't know, 4 minutes, and we'll see. We'll see how this goes. We'll see if you guys have any questions for me. I don't know who's still here. Oh, Jesse's shirts, music. Oh, okay, right on. I'm guessing, yeah, probably not. All right. Have a good one, people.